I went traveling for the first time when I was 18, and my first travel mate, his name was Heath, and we had been friends all throughout high school, and basically he was the one who kind of got me to do my first push abroad and my first experiences abroad. And he had actually had his first experiences abroad when he was 12, and his parents took him sailing from Washington State all the way down to New Zealand. And so he's 12 years old, he's out of middle school for a year and a half, and he proceeded to sail around the South Pacific for about a year and a half. And obviously, changed his life and basically made him a traveler for life. And he got me into travel. And one of the things that he was always talking about when we were growing up was his sailing days. And I was always hearing these stories about sailing, and it just sounded like something I wanted to get into. And he was telling me about crewing on sailboats. So it's as simple as people who are sailing, cruisers they call themselves, who are sailing down the coast, often need help doing night watches, especially. So they need help like maintaining the boat and running it and generally kind of navigating. But the biggest thing that they need help with is night watches, because you have to have somebody up at all times on a sailboat so you don't run into anything. You can't just sleep and sail through it. So I was finishing up school, and I wanted to have one last adventure before I started work life, or at least work life for a while. And so I spent like 3, 4, 5 months like learning sailing, taking sailing classes at my local university, and learning all kind of the basic ropes of how to run a small sailboat. And I was reading about it and emailing people, and I just was like, I want to crew. I want to go crew on ocean-going sailboats. I want to crew down the coast. I want to crew to the South Pacific, whatever. I want to get out there and have a real experience. And it was just one of these things where I spent so much time emailing people and looking through websites and looking through listings of people who were looking for crew, but nothing was really panning out. There wasn't that many people who really were posting online, I need crew. And so I just kind of had exhausted my options on the online route, but was still kind of like, I want to do this. And so I emailed a whole bunch of sailors, and I just said like, hey, I found their emails on their like sailing blogs, and I wrote this one long email that I sent to all 40 of them, but I blind carbon copied it so that people didn't know they were receiving the same email. And so I sent the email out that said, hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing. I want a crew. Like I know some basic sailing. I'm smart. I'm strong. I can figure this out. What do I do? And like almost everyone was like, congrats, it's a good idea, but I think you should take more classes for it. I think you should learn more. I think you should take Coast Guard classes. I think you should get your captain's like basic license, or just basically they're like, do all this work and put in all the time in classes. And it was like a very smart recommendation. And then one guy wrote me back, and he's like, hey Kyle, I think your plan's a good one. If you want to pull this off, what I recommend doing is if you want to go to the Pacific, go to Puerto Vallarta and go to La Cruz Marina in Puerto Vallarta. If you want to go to Panama, go to this marina in Panama, and you can probably help people pass through the canal and even get paid for it. So he basically said, just go for it. Go down there, go to the marina, say hi, make friends, and you'll find your way on a boat. And of all the people who responded to that email, who urged me to take more classes and get more preparation, one guy said, no, just go down there and go for it. And so I decided to take that advice of all the advice I was given, and I was able to find a boat on the second day in Puerto Vallarta. So it was a huge success for me. It turned into a great trip. I sailed for about 3 to 4 weeks on 2 different boats, and then kind of my luck ran out. I couldn't find any more boats, and I loved sailing, but I was also eager to get back to backpacking. So then I went and traveled around Mexico for like a month and a half, and worked at a hostel and made friends from all over, and got invited to stay with people from Mexico City and different areas, and couch surfed, and just had like a really ridiculously good trip. And it was all based on taking this one chance of I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to go down to Puerto Vallarta and just go to marinas and see what happens. And I hadn't watched these videos in a while, and I wanted to make a little kind of tribute compilation to this awesome trip that I had. Nice downwind sunset still.
Sí, ¿lo ves? ¿Lo ves? Sí, sí, ¿lo ves?
¿Pero cómo era? ¿A quién qué?
Oh, can I have?
Can I have?
Sí.
A cigarette?
Yeah.
Please.
Please. Yeah. Qué buena la vida. Estoy grabando la película de mi vida.
¡Ay, no! Hay que ir arriba, ¡arriba México! ¡Aguante México! ¡Bien ahoga!
Te dio risa.
Eso no.